All right, so best practices on the agenda. We're going to go live into the platform. So we're going to add a company, we're going to add contacts, we're going to add a note, and then we're going to look at lead stages. And then we're going to talk about the different types of lead stages and what they all mean, why they're super important to the sales cycle. Filters, I want you to be able to see exactly what you need to see, what we'll be looking at when we're exporting a report. And then we're going to do some hands-on exercises. So if you're not logged into HubSpot, if you can go ahead and do that now so we're all on the same page, and then we'll wrap up with a few notes. So to get started, why do we need to clean up HubSpot entries? If you'll see, the black column indicates the contact owner. So I have blacked that out to protect the innocent until proven guilty. But as you can see here on some of these columns here, when we pull a report to send to, let's say, the CEO, this is what he's currently seeing. So you can see some discrepancies immediately. First name, I've never met anyone named St. Joseph. I think he died a long time ago, so it's probably not someone's name. So we just ask that when you're putting things in, they're in the correct column. Okay, so when I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. But so we've got some first name issues, St. Joseph Clinical Pathology Laboratory. Obviously, those should be in the associated company, so those should be input as companies instead of as contacts. So we'll look at the difference there. Emails. I think it's really important to have some sort of contact information every time you input a contact or a company. So want to start kind of fleshing those out, making sure we've got a holistic view of everyone in there. Again, last names. Let's not put the San Miguel Helen Center as last name. Let's get that in a company. Then we'll move on to last activity date. So activity date is what we look at to see what you're doing from a management perspective. So the last time you entered an email, a note, a call, etc., it's going to give us the last date of your activity. If you're entering in a new contact, that's not going to be populated in the last activity date. It's when you add like a note or something in there. Lead status, I've just added this in. This is really important, and we'll go over what that means exactly, but that's going to be a mandatory field every time a change is made to a contact or a company, or you put a new contact or company in. Those will need to be updated frequently, every day or every week. So let's keep going. All right, best practices. I know that a lot of you are on your feet all day. It's really easy to pull out your HubSpot app on your phone, and I think that's probably where we're seeing a lot of the discrepancies on the information here. So when do we use a phone app? When do we use our computer browser? So phone app for notes only on the fly. So when you're, leaving a meeting, leaving, a call, and you're in your car, you don't want to forget anything that's happened, you want to get it done and be as efficient as possible, that's the perfect time to use your notes on your phone app. If you are adding a new company, if you're adding a new contact, that's where we're really seeing some issues. So if we're updating a lead stage, everything like that, sit down at your computer, your laptop, whatever, and that's when you want to go ahead and do your computer. I've got a question that I'll look at in a little bit. So live in HubSpot, we're going to open up the platform now. I'm going to add a company. I'm going to add a customer. And then I'm going to show you how to add the customer to a company so you're not kind of doubling the effort. So if you know there's several doctors at a specific company, you can open up the company and then add the customers within. We're going to add a current lead stage, a new note, and then I'm going to show you how to use your filters in the contacts or company view. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of here so I can go into the platform. But before I do, I'm just going to check my chat. Okay, so let's go ahead. And now, so when you're a new user, or perhaps this is the login screen you get to, I know some of you are new users, so go ahead and take these different courses if you haven't already. They're just super helpful to give you an idea of HubSpot. So new users do that. So what I want to focus on today is only contacts. So if I've got a new lead or a company, I'm going to be doing the contact drop down. I'm going to go to contacts or companies. So let's start with a new company. I'm going to have you guys create a demo test company and contact of your own at the end of this hands-on training. So just keep that in mind. So I'm in companies now. You'll see here, these are all the different companies logged. These are some of the things that we need to pay attention to when we're inputting data into our fields here. This one looks great. Last activity date, phone number, city, and then we'll start filling in these lead statuses moving forward. So let's go ahead and create a new company over here. And we will do the domain name. So it's going to be Courtney Demo Test because I don't have my own domain. It's very formal hospital. No one go there. The doctors are terrible. You know, industry, it's pretty straightforward. Phone number, let's make sure and make that a good habit if we can get it. Do a quick Google search if you don't have it. However you're getting that data, make sure you're adding it here, city, state, etc. As much information as you can put in here, please do. And then let's go down to the lead status. And you'll see the different leads to choose from. This is a new lead, so I'm going to go with a new. I'm going to create the company. So I've got Courtney Hospital. Again, this is not a good hospital. Definitely underfunded. No one has their medical degree, but you'll see all of the data that you put in input here is going to live in this area about the company. You can go in at any time and edit this, as you can see with the little pencil here. So if you've got some more information, you can add it there. So Gabe, if you want to go ahead and unmute everyone, I'm going to open it up to any questions to this point. While he's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and just go over kind of the different areas here. So we've got notes, which is where some of you have been adding your notes. Really good to do this anytime you have a phone call, a meeting, any type of response or non-response, create a note so that it's the customer is always up to date. So when we're pulling that report, we know exactly what's going on and the status of that. Emails, I believe Lori's worked with an email procedure with you guys, so that's going to stay as is. Log your calls here, etc. So now I'm going to add a contact within the actual customer here. So I'm just going to go to contacts, add, create new contact. Email, let's make sure we're putting in the correct fields here. I know this is mundane and simple for some of you, but we just want to make sure that we're hitting kind of all the important stuff that we need to see when we're pulling the reports.
Courtney, the issue that I'm having with like company names is that some of these are corporate companies, and if like Houston has already input Heart to Heart Hospice or like other corporate companies, then I can't do it, and then it kind of remains one of their contacts, and then I can't have, I don't know. So that most of those with the first and last name companies are me, because that's the only way I knew how to get around it.
With the first, okay. So I definitely see your dilemma, and that's something that we should look at as far as processes, but I'd say let's talk to Lori after this and then kind of see what the best workaround is. It
Okay.
should all really live together, and but we'll figure that out. Thanks for that call out though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so again, we can do a lead status directly to the doctor here. Okay, so once we've filled in all of our notes, etc. This lead, maybe the doctor's very like you said, April, you could do a different lead status this way. So we'll do a connect and qualify on this one. I'll make sure anything I put in has demo in front of it, and then we'll create. So now we've got a contact that was living within the company. So now I'm going to show you quickly how to create a contact, just a one-off doctor, let's say. Same format, it's just a different area. So let's go to create the contact. Again, same exact process. And then it'll live here. So I've done my demo, Courtney Rogers. I've got my email. I need to put a phone number in, my contact owner, which will be the marketer, the associated hospital, and then my last activity date. I don't have anything because I haven't put a note or an email in. And then I've got my lead status. Okay. So any questions to this point? When we do this hands-on at the end here, does everyone feel comfortable being able to create a contact and create a new company? Let me know if you have any questions on that. All right, so let's move on now that we've done, this is like the simple nitty gritty stuff, and I'm going to show you the filters. So right now when we're pulling these reports, these are the most important fields that we need to see, all filled in and organized. But there are more filters that you can add to your individual view. So anything that's going to help you do your job better, add these on. You'll be able to see all the different categories here. Any questions on filters? Okay. All right, so I'm going to switch back here. And let's talk about lead stages. So the current lead stages that we have in HubSpot are the ones that are going to be listed right here. These might be subject to change later, but I'm going to talk with Lori and make any changes as needed, and then we'll send out a final PDF of the lead stages, so you know which one to choose depending on where you are in the sales life cycle. So obviously new would be the first one when you're inputting a new contact. So basically you've not done any outreach yet. You just know of this customer or contact. Connect and qualify would be the next one. That's when you've actively researched them. You're attempting to contact them. There's no sales opportunity quite yet. The open deal, so this is when it moves from connecting to reflecting the current open deal status. Let's say it wasn't a good fit right now, but you think it might be a little down the road. That's going to be a check back quarterly status. So we didn't get a customer out of them, but it's also not dead. So you can also set a task to remind you to check back in with them quarterly. So dead opportunity accounts where they fall through. Maybe it could have happened, but it just didn't. So it's not completely dead, but we can look at it later. Bad fit, it's just like give up. Don't waste any more time. Time is money. Just kick it to the curb for now, and leadership can address later. And then current customer. So we want to avoid accidentally working on any current customers. So just go ahead and label the lead status as current customer when you've actually converted. So any questions about these lead stages and how to add them to a company or a contact? Okay. All right, so now we're going to open it up and do a hands-on exercise. So I'll be watching as you update on your end, but I want you to go ahead and open your HubSpot, and I want you to add a new company per person and make sure you label every name demo test. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to companies. I'm going to watch them kind of come in. If you have any questions while you're doing it, please stop and let me know, and I can walk through it again. I feel like you guys got this handled though. All right. All right, great question. So Monica wants to know what she uses for company domain name. If this was a hospital, you would use their website, but since this is a demo test, you can just put anything in there. It's fine. All right, so when you're adding these, make sure you're updating the lead status just to get a feel of it going forward. And I can show you how to do that again if you need. All right. Monica, what domain name are you trying to use? Just use like a, monica.com and see if that works. All right, guys, for those of you that have already added in your new company, were you able to see the lead status and add the lead status?
This is Lorraine. I didn't see it.
You didn't see it? Okay. So Lorraine, if you'll hang with me here, I'm going to go in and I want to double check that your account is able to see that lead status. So when you went to create the company, and you scroll to the bottom here, did you see this lead status drop down box available?
No, are you supposed to be sharing this? Because it's not on the screen anymore.
Oh, sorry. There we go. All right, let me start over. Apologies. Okay. So when you went to create your company and you added in your information, when you scroll down to the bottom, is this lead status drop down available to you?
I guess I need to create another one then.
It wasn't showing for me either.
It's not.
I don't remember seeing that.
Okay, that's good to know. Can somebody just open up? You don't have to create a new one, but can you just open up the create new contact and confirm one more time that lead status is not showing for you guys?
Yeah, it's not down there.
It's not showing for me either.
Okay, good to
The
know.
last box that I can see is LinkedIn company page.
Okay, good to know. So we'll work on this after the meeting and I'll send you guys updates on that. And then we'll go from there. So you guys have done a good job adding in everything as your company owner. Now let's go in, for those of you that have created yours, go back into your company. So for example, Lorraine's, and go ahead and add a note. So a couple ways to add notes. We can add one here, or we can go to the note area to create a new note over here. So go ahead and create a new note, save it, and then we'll take a look at how it updates on our dashboard here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and refresh. All right, so we've got some last activity updates. If you can see in this column here that I'm hovering over, this is really important when you're updating, I believe on a daily basis. So just so you know, reports are pulled every Friday, but I believe you're supposed to be logging any notes, emails, and calls every day. And this will kind of give us an idea of when everything is up to date is when this is filled in. Right. Looks good. Okay. So now I want you to go back into your fictitious company. I'm going to use Lorraine's here. And I want you to add a contact within the company. So how you do that is you scroll over to the right side here and you go to contacts, add. Create a new contact. And it's really straightforward. Just create another fictitious contact. So this would be one of the doctors within the company here. Does anyone have any questions over that? Okay. So now I'm going to switch it over to contacts. And we'll see all the new contacts created. I'm going to check my questions. Okay, guys. So got an update from Gabe. I think we might be able to see this lead status after all. So go into your companies again, right here. Pick your fictitious company. I'm going to use Lorraine's. And I'm going to now check and see if the lead status is available. So everyone take a look over here. This is where you'll see and update the lead status. Let me know if you can see it now after you do a hard refresh. And if you can't find it, let me know.
I'm sorry, where did you say the lead status was going to be?
So let's go back. So go into companies from your drop down here. Then you're going to click on your fictitious company that you created. So this is where kind of all of the account information that is editable when you're seeing it in the fields lives. So if you scroll all the way down here, I'm hoping that you'll be able to see the lead status now as an option. Let me know, confirm either way if you can see it or not.
Still no option for me.
Okay, can you do a refresh of your browser right here, reload the page, and then check one more time?
I have a question. As as I click on my company, it just doesn't take me anywhere. Like I can't even get into the next screen that you are looking at. And I keep pressing refresh, and then I'll pick one of my other companies, and it's still not allowing me to do anything.
All right. So let me replay what you just said. So you're in this screen here. Can you see?
And then I click Doctors Regional Hospital on my companies, and then I just get like a clear screen. There's nothing comes out on my desktop.
Interesting. Okay. So you would be clicking, let's say, demo test, okay?
hmm
And this, what I'm showing you right now, it's just it's a blank screen.
Okay, I clicked on demo test. And on my side, there's just absolutely nothing on my screen, like nothing, zero. It's just a clear white screen.
Okay, so that leads me to believe it could be a couple things. It might be a browser issue that we can troubleshoot later. It might be we need to update the browser, or it might be a permissions issue. Okay, so Anita still can't see the status. Okay.
I can't see it either. This is Lorraine.
Okay. So we're going to look at permission issues here. Monica, I might be getting back in touch with you after this to troubleshoot what you're seeing. We'll take that offline. And then we'll look into the lead status as well and get that cleared up so we can all get on the same page and you can actually input your information. So, okay. So we've done, is everyone at this point comfortable with adding the contact name and the emails, etc., updating with a note or a call log, and creating your company?
Yes.
Cool. All right. So that kind of leads us to our conclusion here. I want to ask Lori if there's anything she wants to add to this before we kind of follow up on next steps.
Hi, no, nothing else. Unless anybody else has any questions, I think.
Okay. All right. So.
Oh, wait, sorry, I do.
Yeah.
So I know that some people uploaded their contacts through like their phones, like you can export contacts in your phone. Do they just have to go in there and change, like redo the name and stuff so it says first and last name? Or if it's a company, do they just delete it and add it to the company? They'll have to go through each one, or is there something that will help them just sort it out? Or
Yeah. So I would have to look at how the fields are mapping over from the phone, but essentially if it's a contact, so a person or a doctor, you're going to want to go in and clean that up. Okay.
okay.
But
so, yeah.
you should be able to go into your contact and add it to one of the companies. Okay. So once you go, this one's already added, so that's a bad example. So let me find a contact.
Oh, like if you just go to a contact, you can add them to a company?
Yes. So I'm going to go into Lori.
Gotcha.
And you're already added to a contact. We're going to figure this out, you guys. There we go. Okay. So now I'm looking at Dr. Rhonda. And so I'm going to go to the company and I'm going to add her to an existing company. So it kind of works both ways. So with a company you can add current doctors or create a new doctor. Same thing with contacts. You can add it to an existing company. Or you can add it to a new company. So it's basically got, the inverse ability for each one, if that makes sense. Anything else, Lori?
No, That was it. So guys, when you, I know some of you did upload it through your phone, so just go through your own and then just fix the names so that they'll come up on the report right, and then when you're searching for people, it'll come up correctly. Thank you.
Yeah, I would just add onto that, after you've entered in like a new client or a contact or customer, just make sure your fields are right by going back to this page. Okay, just good best practice. So next steps, I'm going to follow up with Monica. We're also going to follow up with you, April, regarding best process. And then as far as permissions for that lead, we'll send an update about that as well, because I think that's really important that we get that on there so we know where everything is in the life cycle. Any additional questions that you think of, you can email me cojorogers@gmail.com. I'll be sending this deck through in an email as well. Any other outstanding questions I can answer in a group setting in an email as well. And then I'm going to hold some optional office hours one time a week for the next 2 weeks, and I'll send an optional invitation to you guys so you can join or not, and we can just go over any questions, any issues you might be experiencing, like Monica seeing a blank screen. We all just want to make sure that our platforms are working properly so we can add our information. So anyways, well, thank you guys for joining, and any last questions before we sign off and I give you your 20 minutes back?